And it's weird because when you linked me to do it, I was like, oh shit, like this guy wants me on that. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I still struggle with like that imposter syndrome shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why do you want to like talk to me? Because I look at those guys like they're really in like the city, like real movers and shakers, you know? And like, yeah, I've made a little noise in the last year or two, you know what I'm saying? But like, those are dudes that like I've always like admired their passion, their creativity, and the things that they've done, you know? So the fact that like I'm sitting here, it's like, it's kind of funny to be honest, but everything happens for a reason. I was gaining weight, I was eating like trash, I wasn't sleeping properly. Um, and then I just randomly had an idea to reach out to one of my dogs, like, yo, you had a bike back in the day. Would you get back on the bike thing? And he was like, yeah. So it was just something that me and my brethren just wanted to do with each other. It wasn't even on no community shit. It was just more just like my tribe, like me and mine, you know? And then within a couple of weeks, it took a life of its own, you know? And like I remember the third week pulling up downtown and or in the West End, there was like 40 people there. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like that wasn't part of the program. Like that's not what I thought. Like it was always just gonna be something for me, my friends and I, maybe a friend of a friend, that's it. And then it wasn't until that week where I realized like, you know, I've been in the city like my whole life. And I've been in the music industry, I've been in other creative spaces, and like my network, like my reach is pretty deep. I just never really had to tap into it. I never really like sat back and looked at like, you know, how many people I actually know and then how many people those people know and how connected I am. And then it was that weekend where I was like, whoa, this is you know, it's kind of blowing out of proportion. As much as I'm behind it and I'm the one putting in the energy to, you know, curate the events and bring people together, it's not about me. It wasn't even about my brethren no more. It's more just like the city and the community and like, you know, everybody was going through some shit and like they needed something positive, you know? So I was fortunate enough that, you know, it was me behind it. And you know, 2 years later now, continues to grow. We got a website, we got the merch, we're doing partnerships, raising money for, you know, kids that need shit. So I'm happy that I eventually just let it go. Because if I didn't, like, I wouldn't have met Trav. I wouldn't have met you today. I wouldn't have met a lot of people. I wouldn't have had the impact that I've had. And even just saying that, like, realizing that it's me behind it, like, I'm still struggling with that. I'm still like adjusting to like this whole like title of like community leadership, you know. My boy Darky, who pretty much started this whole thing and has been like my right hand throughout this whole process. I forgot exactly the context, but we were having a conversation, and he was like, "Yo, you need to go get a pen and a paper and write down all your accomplishments. Like write them down so you can see like what it is that you've actually done, and then maybe then you'll realize like, you know, like it's not just bullshit. It's not just like whatever. It's actually like tangible, like, quantifiable evidence that like you've done some significant things, you know." So when I did that and I made that list, it's like, damn, it was like 30 lines long, you know? And I was like, fuck, like, yo, I did do these things. But even though I'm saying I did do them, I'm still like recognizing the fact that a lot of the stuff that did happen wouldn't have happened without like the people. It would be easier if I could just see myself the way other people see me sometimes, you know? Because I do have that imposter syndrome. I do second guess myself, especially like navigating spaces where I'm not comfortable with or that are foreign to me, you know? So uh, I'm happy with the outcomes for sure, but it's still something that I'm navigating, dog. So it's not it's not as easy as people think it is to like give yourself for like a whole summer, and then like summer's over and you try to revert to like what you were prior to that. But then the people around you, like they won't let you, because it's like they see the light, or they see like, I don't know what the fuck they see sometimes, to be honest, but they value the energy that I bring or that my friends bring to them, or the value that we add to their lives, you know? So it's like just figuring out like how to like accept that without getting gassed. It felt like my life was going here. Like shit was in shambles, right? But like I never even had an opportunity to like really be down about it, because there's so much good shit happening. Like, you know, like typically if you're in a bad situation, like if something bad happens, like you lose your job or you break up or whatever, and it's like you have that week or 2 weeks where you're just so forlorn and you're just down and you're just like in bed and you're freaking binge eating whatever the fuck. I never had that opportunity because every weekend there was fucking 50 people waiting for me to pull up and go turn up and have fun outside, right? So that took some time to like really process everything. And then by the time like the fall winter came, and then I had to sit back and be like, yo, like what just happened? Like I went from not having a bike at all to being in the magazines and being on the news, and I'm single again, and everything just got tossed upside down. It's like it was like a big reset. My inner circle knew I was good, you know what I'm saying? But like there's people who are legitimately concerned because I wasn't as active or consistent in terms of posting on social media, you know? But like I was just taking a break for myself, you know? And like the people around me, like, yeah, they knew like, yo, Chris dealt with something, you know, like he's going through some shit. But like I'm not the type of person that's gonna go online and be like, hey everybody, I'm okay. I'm just stressed from work, or like I'm dealing with fucking heartbreak, or I got some money problems, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've never been the type to like go and run on social media and like share all that, you know? So but yeah, like it feels good to be back. Feels good to be back, yeah, real shit. Gotta recharge sometimes, that's all. To keep it 100 with you, I was totally oblivious to, I don't want to say representation, but like I was totally oblivious to the fact that there wasn't a lot of like black people on bikes and like, or like in that sport. And it was like I didn't care. Like I watched ball, I watched football. I didn't really even have any opinion at all about the cycling sport, the universe, nothing like that. So to come into that space like accidentally and do my thing and do it my way, like again, I wasn't doing it based on how anybody else said I had to do it. I just did what I wanted to do. And then, you know, to have people tell me like, yo, the city's never seen nothing like this. And like have people who have been like riding their bikes for like decades or like way longer than me reach out to me and show me love, like, yo, like what you're doing is important, you know? And I had no idea that we were filling this void that was there. I had absolutely no idea. Forgot about who I was before I had bills and before I had market rent to pay and before I had car insurance to pay and before I had certain, you know, like I had to really look at my life and be like, yo, like if my dog is saying this to me, there's so many layers to it. It's like, so I wasn't myself for the last like 15 years and you guys just allowed it. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even something that anybody like told me about. And I think again, it goes back to growth, right? So like you grow up, you mature, you know, some of your adolescent ways or your ways from your early 20s, you kind of put that shit to bed and you become an adult. But then there's certain elements of ourselves that for whatever reason we let decay as we become adults. And the fucked up part about that is that those are like core like components of like who we actually are. Because every single time that like I try to like put that energy out there, the people that know me see right through it, like, oh, this guy's hurt, right? And then the people that have dealt with like real assholes, they know that I'm not a real asshole. So it's like, why even put up that fake shield to try to like move in a certain manner when you're not designed to be like that? And that took a lot for me to be that, because people take kindness for weakness, fam. You know? And I would consider myself a kind person. And what comes with that territory is people are gonna freaking snake you. So you just have to accept that as part of the ROI, I guess. Like you can't really, you know, you can't intentionally go against your own like moral fiber as some type of defense mechanism and expect positive results. Just move proper. And if you have an opportunity to do something for someone or show love to someone, show it or do it. And then whatever the universe determines is, you know, your reward for that, you'll get it when you get it. And for me, when I look at like the growth of like this random fucking bike club I started, when I look at like the people around me and the relationships that I've made in the last couple of years, like even meeting y'all, Like I've been rewarded tenfold for my kindness, and it's not even in the same like same medium as the output that I'm getting it back. It's completely different and completely unexpected. You know what I'm saying? And that to me should be like the lesson for like this last 2 years of all this fucked up shit. Just be nice and just move proper, and you'll get what you're supposed to get whenever you get it. It could be this year, it could be 5 years from now, but you will be rewarded. I've been seeing a therapist on the low, like just to talk about some things and navigate some things because I'm so used to like navigating it on my own, you know? So that definitely helped me like shed light on some things and shift my perception on some things, you know? And it's crazy because like as much as I started to ride a bike and I got some of my dogs to ride a bike, the fact that I started seeing a therapist and then like some of my dogs started to go to therapy, I was like, holy. Like that to me was like fucking gold. You know what I'm saying? Be like, cause like these are things that are foreign to us. Like we're Scarborough kids. You know, we're not going to fucking therapy. You know what I'm saying? So when some of my dogs started to like really like take ownership of their like emotional situations or whatever, like it was very like fulfilling and rewarding to know that like they did it.